You know, there are some true crime cases that eventually fade into history, and then there are cases like Lizzie Borden. More than 130 years later, people are still wondering what happened inside that house in Fall River, Massachusetts. Was Lizzie an innocent woman wrongly accused, or did she commit one of the most infamous double murders in American history and somehow walk free? Because over the decades, visitors, investigators, and even overnight guests have reported strange experiences inside the Lizzie Borden house. Footsteps, voices, shadow figures, and encounters they still can't explain. Tonight, we're going to explore mainly the paranormal side of the mystery, because history often leaves behind more questions than answers, and some places are determined to not let us forget. You might think the story ended the day the jury returned its verdict. After all, on June 20th, 1893, Lizzie Borden walked out of the courtroom a free woman. The legal battle was over. The newspapers moved on. The case was officially closed. But in reality, it was only the beginning. Because while the trial ended, the house where Andrew and Abby Borden died never really escaped the shadow of what happened there. More than 130 years later, people are still talking about the murders, and some claim the house itself is still talking back. Shortly after the trial, Lizzie and her sister Emma left 92 Second Street behind. Using their inheritance, they purchased a much larger and far more fashionable home across town. They called it Maplecroft. For Lizzie, it represented a fresh start, a chance to leave the murders in the past. But while Lizzie moved on, the old house remained. And over the years, strange stories began to emerge. At first, they were little more than whispers, a door opening unexpectedly, footsteps heard in an empty hallway, the unsettling feeling that someone was standing just behind you. Nothing dramatic, nothing that could be proven, but as the decades passed, those stories continued, and they became harder to ignore. By the middle of the 20th century, the Lizzie Borden House had developed a reputation unlike almost any other location in New England. Visitors, caretakers, and investigators began reporting remarkably similar experiences. Many described hearing footsteps climbing the staircase when nobody else was in the building. Others reported doors opening and closing on their own. Some claimed to hear voices drifting through the house late at night. Not loud, not clear, but just enough to make you stop and wonder if someone else was there. Several witnesses have also reported seeing what appears to be a woman in Victorian clothing. The figure is often associated with Abby Borden and is most frequently reported near the guest bedroom where she was brutally killed. Whether these sightings represent genuine paranormal activity or the power of suggestion remains a matter of debate. But the reports continue to this day. One of the most talked about locations inside the house is the sitting room, the very room where Andrew Borden was murdered while resting on a sofa. Visitors have described sudden cold spots, feelings of overwhelming dread, an intense sensation of being watched. And in some cases, guests have even reported sharp pains in the head or face while sitting in the room. An unsettling claim considering the devastating injuries Andrew suffered there. Coincidence? Psychological suggestion? Or something else entirely? That's for each visitor to decide. When the property eventually opened as a museum and later became a bed and breakfast, the number of reported experiences increased dramatically. What makes these accounts particularly interesting is that many did not come from paranormal investigators. They came from ordinary visitors, people with no specialized equipment, no ghost hunting agenda, and in some cases, very little knowledge of the details of the murders. Yet many reported similar sensations, similar sounds, similar feelings. Whether those experiences are paranormal or psychological, they've helped keep the mystery alive for generations. Over the years, numerous paranormal teams have conducted formal investigations inside the house. Their findings vary, but certain patterns appear again and again. The unexplained sounds, sudden temperature changes, shadow-like figures, electronic voice phenomena often called EVPs, the guest bedroom, the staircase, the upstairs hallway. These locations repeatedly appear in investigator reports. And while no investigation has produced definitive proof of paranormal activity, many researchers leave with the same conclusion. There is something unusual about the atmosphere of the house, something difficult to explain and impossible to ignore. Among the groups that have explored the Borden locations extensively is Rise Up Paranormal. Their investigations have extended beyond the infamous Second Street house and into Maplecroft itself. Confrontational at all? What's the thump? Yeah, you hear it.
I have no idea.
It's gone now.
Yeah. I don't know what that was.
Maybe 7 or 8 times.
Yeah. All right, let me mark the order. I definitely heard it.
Okay.
It almost sounded like footsteps to me. Heavy footsteps. That same kind of pattern.
Does anyone here need some assistance? Do you need some help? Does anyone here need some assistance? Do you need some help?
I just heard something. I just heard something.
Was this Bridget's room? There was a woman who passed recently. She was in her 90s, and when she was a young girl, she took care of Lizzie Borden when she had some physical ailments. I think it was, not sure if it was a pancreas or a gallbladder, but she was nursing her at the time and taking care of her until her mother found out about it and then forbade her from spending any more time with Lizzie at all. She claims that Lizzie told her who committed these murders, and it was a young man named David Anthony, who was 23 years old at the time Lizzie was 32, and it was said and speculated that he was courting her. It'd just be nice to know if you could hear and see us. It'd just be nice to know if you could hear and see us.
Flash. Maybe not. Flash. Maybe not.
I would like to hear what the famous Andrew Borden's voice sounds like.
I heard something like that.
I would like to hear what the famous Andrew Borden's voice sounds like.
I heard something like that.
That was a creepy voice downstairs.
It certainly was.
It
It was of the humanly kind, the alive.
Oh. That was a creepy voice
It
downstairs.
certainly was. It was of the humanly kind, the alive.
Oh.
Was that? Do they bleep that?
Is that inhuman?
You can hear it from here.
Yeah, take the headphones out, see how loud that
You could probably hear it without the headphones, because I could hear it through the
Let
headphones.
me rewind it. Yeah, go to... Interestingly, reports from Maplecroft tend to be quieter, less dramatic, but not entirely absent. Investigators have documented unusual sounds, fleeting shadows, and subtle environmental anomalies there as well, leading some to wonder, did the emotional weight of the Borden tragedy follow Lizzie into her new home? Or are investigators simply encountering the lingering power of one of America's most infamous stories?
It was quite the garage.
Did you just hear laughing?
If somebody just didn't talk in a solemn voice, and I just heard a woman. I don't know, I mean, first time I've heard it. I don't know, I mean, first time I've heard it.
I was about to say, hey, this is a cool old gas lamp. See it?
Yeah.
That's cool. They didn't convert it. That's
Can you come near that little gadget on the table, or could you just make a noise or say yes? Can you come near that little gadget on the table, or could you just make a noise or say yes?
And maybe that's what makes the Lizzie Borden story so enduring. The hauntings are only part of it. Unlike many haunted locations, This house is connected to a real event, a documented crime, a documented trial, a documented tragedy. Every room, every staircase, every reported shadow. All of it traces back to a moment in history that actually happened. 2 people were murdered there. A daughter stood accused. A community was divided. And more than a century later, the central question remains unanswered. Who killed Andrew and Abby Borden? Despite countless books, documentaries, television specials, and investigations, no one has ever been officially held responsible. The mystery survives because the evidence never delivered certainty, only possibilities. Today, historians visit the house. Tourists spend the night. Paranormal investigators return again and again searching for answers. But whether they're looking for ghosts, historical insight, or clues hidden in a century-old mystery, they're all chasing the same thing: understanding. Trying to make sense of a story that never truly reached a conclusion. Because the Lizzie Borden case didn't end in 1893. It didn't end when Lizzie passed away in 1927. Perhaps it never will. As long as people continue to walk those halls, as long as strange experiences continue to be reported, as long as the questions remain unanswered, the story lives on. Part history, part legend, part ghost story, and entirely unforgettable. Well, after all these years, we're still left with the same question. Who killed Andrew and Abby Borden? Was Lizzie responsible? Was there someone hiding in plain sight? Or is the truth something we'll never really know? And then there's the house itself, the experiences reported by investigators and visitors alike. Are they evidence of something paranormal, or are they the natural result of spending time in one of America's most infamous crime scenes? Do you believe Lizzie Borden was guilty, innocent, or somewhere in between? And if you've ever visited the Lizzie Borden house yourself, let us know what happened in the comments. I read as many of them as I can, and some of your stories are just as fascinating as the mysteries we cover here. Because here we're always searching for the stories that exist somewhere between history, mystery, and the unexplained. So until next time, stay spooky.